Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. All right, so we have 15 minutes. So we have another question. That's the question of how to be free of the influence of tamagun. Or the question could be put as how to conquer over tamagun, which is characterized by sleep. Sleep is one of the natures of tamagun. So I'm going to discuss it more from a philosophical point of view. Yesterday we talked about sleep also, but today we're going to talk about it in a deeper sense of philosophy. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur describes 5 levels of consciousness in his book Jaiva Dharma. In the introduction, it said that we're not interested so much in discussing dead matter. We're discussing what has life. It said that the Atma or Jiva is connected to the word Pran, Prani. Prani or Jiva. And that means Jiva means what has Jivan or life. And Prani means which also has some kind of life. But it's connected more to the Prana or the life air. It said that the soul resides on the Prana in the body. And also what we're trying to do therefore is raise our Prana into higher levels of consciousness, also into higher spheres like in the upper head, the different chakras. If we're always in like the root chakras, and this is more in tamagun, we're trying to raise our consciousness, right? So anyhow, there are 5 levels of consciousness. The first level is completely covered consciousness, called achadit chetana. Completely covered consciousness. And this is the nature of stones, trees, shrubs, things that don't move. There are 2 kinds of beings, the moving and the non-moving. Okay? So in the non-moving entities, they are like stones, trees. So actually even stones have some kind of consciousness residing within them. A stone may also be a body. Now when it's cut up and made into like a building, then the consciousness, it's not the same as when it's like a whole mountain or a boulder. The same like as a tree. When you cut a tree, before you cut it, it may have life. After you cut it, it doesn't have the same kind of life in it. Other living entities may live within that sphere or dimension of the wood, but the main soul within the tree is not anymore present. That main soul of the tree has moved on. So that's the level of consciousness known as achadit chetana, covered consciousness. And covered consciousness is present in rocks, trees, shrubs, etc. Then you have the moving entities. Moving entities means birds, animals, mammals, aquatics. Basically you have creatures that live in the air mostly. Birds, even the birds, they have to live in a tree or they have some nest, but they move in the air more. Okay, so they're flying. So birds, then you have mammals living on the earth, and there's different kinds of mammals, and then different kinds of amphibians who live in water and on the land, and then you have creatures that live in the water, aquatics. You also have creatures that live in fire. It's very subtle though. And science is starting to discover this also. Okay, so these are moving entities. And of the moving entities, the second level of consciousness, which is called sankuchit chetana, it means stunted, not developed. It means it hasn't developed in its spiritual progress. In Hindi you call vikas. Vikas means what is developed or transformed into a higher state. So the Atma by nature is conscious and its destiny is to be in a higher being in its true nature. But when it's in these lower 2 kinds of consciousness, it's either completely covered like a stone or in a tree, or it's stunted in its growth, which means it will be like a bird or a fish or a different kind of mammal. Okay, then there's 3 kinds of consciousness which are only present in human beings. Okay, so that's budding consciousness, blossoming consciousness, and fully blossomed consciousness. So it's given the example of like a flower. When it's first just a bud, and then when it's starting to blossom, and when it's fully blossomed in its own spiritual divine consciousness. So when we talk about coming out of tamagun means ignorance or also nescience. Ignorance or nescience. So we pray, "Oh Gurudev, you take me out of the darkness of ignorance or the nescience of Maya." Like in the banner to Prabhupada's Back to Godhead, it says, Maya is nescience and Godhead is light. So he is taking us out of Maya into divine life or into the light. Nescience means like darkness or Maya, ignorance. Okay? So that's why we pray to Gurudev. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuranmitam Jaina Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Oh Gurudev, I pray to you, please open my eyes with divine knowledge. And the example is given of, please take me out of the darkness of ignorance into the light of true consciousness. And you should give me the torchlight of divine knowledge. So that's this procedure of bringing us out of tamagun into actual real self-knowledge. And this process is described in all our scriptures, and this theme is always repeating. Like in the Upanishads, there's the famous verse, Utishtatra Jagrata. Utishta means get up, and Jagrata means wake up. And they repeat this kind of statement many times, again and again. So wake up, get up, Utishtatra Jagrata, Prapya Varon Nibodhyata, means you must be determined in this path. And you must follow the spiritual path. It is very sharp like a razor's edge, so you must be very careful. So you have to take guidance of Guru. So in this verse we see that if we want to escape the influence of Tamagun and Maya, we must have a guide that can lead us and help us understand what is the right path, what is the wrong path, what to do, what not to do. And the scriptures are one kind of guide. The different teachings that are given in the scriptures are a guide. But also we need a living guide. The scriptures give us some passive knowledge, but they won't give us direct instruction according to our own subjective state. So therefore we need a living guide to get out of tama. So that's the first step. If we want to get out of darkness and ignorance, then we need a guide who knows the reality for themselves and also can help us realize our own true nature. That's why in the Gita, Krishna says, Tadvidi pranipatena pariprasnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshina. Tattvadarshi means someone who has seen the truth. So someone who has seen the truth can help reveal the truth to us. And what's the method? We approach them submissively. We offer pranam to them, showing that pranam means I give up my pride and submit myself to you. That means namaha. I give up my own false ego and I offer pranam to you. That's why before class or before Thakurji, before Guru, we offer pranam, showing that now I give up my own attachment to my own ideas and understanding, and I surrender to you, and I become like a vessel for your wisdom and for your mercy. When we have many different ideas that we're clinging on, then it's like we're a flute filled with garbage, or like a bamboo stick that hasn't been cleaned out, so it cannot receive this. So we offer first to Guru, we do pranipatena, which means we submit to him, we offer pranam to me. This means namaha, I give up my false ego, my own ideas and attachments to my own ideas, and I surrender unto you. Then pariprasna, then we inquire from him. And then sevaya, we perform service to him. So this is the three-step procedure to receive divine knowledge and to come out of tamagun, which is also characterized by sleep. So we must approach Guru. So we must first of all find someone who knows the truth, Tattvadarshi. We can find him through prayer, by deep prayer to ultimately Krishna or to Absolute, or you by deep prayer, then Krishna will send a real Guru to you, and then you approach Guru, you surrender to Guru, you inquire from Guru, Tato Brahma Jigyasa, you inquire, and then you perform service, Guru Seva. So that's the process. So then in our line, what is the method that Guru gives? So every morning we sing this song, Jeev Jago, Gora Chandra Bole, Kota Nidra, Maya Pisachira Kole. That wake up, soul, wake up. So it's saying that you are the soul, Jeev Jago. Jago means wake up. Gora Chandra Bole, and who is the avatar who is giving us this? Gora Chandra. And Mahaprabhu is also teaching us this, wake up. And then he said, how long will you sleep? In the lap of the witch of Maya. So if we want to conquer over sleep, then we have to follow the process given by Mahaprabhu and our acharyas. Some people may say, I just want some tips to help me sleep less, or to have a nice sleep so that I wake up refreshed and energetic. But we want to help fix the deeper problem, the more underlying problem. We may give you some mundane tips or physical tips to improve your sleep. And these are also important to follow. But first we need to fix the underlying problem, the deeper problem. We don't want to just deal with the superficial problem. Superficially, okay, we have trouble sleeping, so you can take these different herbs, you can take these different scented oils, you can clean your room nicely and put the ghee lamp and incense, you cannot look at computer screens or mobiles before you sleep, and we should follow these processes. You know, our room should be clean, our bed should be clean, we should be wearing clean cloth, we should also have taken bath and be clean, we should purify the mind by different mantras. These are all very important to follow, and they will improve our sleep and improve our day. But the deeper thing is that we need to realize, even while we're so-called awake, we may be sleeping, in the sense that our soul consciousness and soul nature is still dormant or in a sleeping state. That's why Mahaprabhu says, Jeev Jago, wake up, soul, wake up. Jeev Jago, Jeev Jago. So not like person wake up. The soul should wake up. The example is given, if a person is pretending to sleep, it's very difficult to wake them. If they are really sleeping, it's easier to wake them. So sometimes we may be so-called awake in spiritual life, but really we are still sleeping. We're only putting on a pretense or a show, but we're still asleep. So therefore, Mahaprabhu says, what is the process? To wake up. So when we're in tamagun, or sleep, then there are many things around us that are keeping us stuck in that state. And there are many of our own habits that keep us stuck in that state. And there are also many things that we're always consuming that keep us in that state of tamagun. Tamagun means the lowest mode of consciousness. Tamagun, then there's rajagun, sattvagun. So if we're in tamagun always, then it means our environment is tamasic, and the things we are taking by our eyes, by what we are eating or consuming through our different senses. We have 5 knowledge-acquiring senses: the mouth, the eyes, the ears, the sense of touch, the sense of taste. So through this we're acquiring things or consuming things. And if the things we're taking are always in tamagun, then it will increase our sleep and our dullness. Tamagun means dullness or sleep in Maya. So our environment may be tamasic, so we should look at that problem. And then the things we're taking may be tamasic, and then our own habits may be tamasic. So if we want to get rid of these things, we have to start identifying, analyzing, and determining what are the different things now that I'm surrounded by, that I'm ingesting, and my own habits that are increasing my bondage in ignorance, or that are perpetuating my bondage in ignorance. So we need to start analyzing that. But then we may analyze and understand, okay, my association is not good, I'm spending time with these people. They say, like, part of your environment is who you spend time with. They say, like, you become like the medium of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Like if you're always spending time with drunkards and womanizers or people who are tamasic nature, then you'll become like that. Or people who are always taking drugs or always stealing or thieving, that type of thing, you'll become like that. So you need to change your association and change your environment. And then you may also have these bad habits yourself. You may be bad association to others. So in order to get to the root of all these problems, we have to follow a specific process, because we can endeavor on our own by our own strength, but it's very difficult to overcome these things because Maya is very powerful and very large, and we are very small. So we need help. So Mahaprabhu came and he gave us very special medicine, which is also like a weapon. It said, Ashtara Parsada Sangha, Nache Gao Bhaktaranga. Mahaprabhu came with his weapons and associates. And what is the weapon? The weapon is described in this song, Jeev Jago, the 4th verse. Ena chiyo shadi maya nasi bara lage. Harinam Mahamantra, lao tumi mage. That the medicine is Harinam. We don't have time now to go into a long discussion of Harinam, but Harinam basically means to chant the names of God, which are connected to Braj. They are the most powerful names. If you have a medicine and you're very sick, then you need to take a strong medicine. So there's different types of names of God, and in this world there are many names of God. But secondary names of God are names that are related only to this world. Primary and more powerful names of God are those that are related to His own world and His own pastimes. So therefore we chant the names of God mostly that are related to the spiritual world of Braj, Krishna, Radha, Raman, Vinod Bihari, all these kind of names. We chant the Mahamantra. This is the medicine given by Mahaprabhu, and we follow according to the teachings of Guru and Vaishnavas in the association of Guru and Vaishnavas. And this is how we can start to help get out of Maya. And what this will do is, by chanting the mantra properly, by taking shelter of the Maha Mantra, especially Harinam Maha Mantra. The Maha Mantra is the chant for deliverance. It said Mantrayati iti mantra. The mantra is what delivers the mind. So if we want to be out of tamagun, we must chant these mantras. Oftentimes we think, oh, I don't need to chant Harinam. I don't need to chant. I am doing seva. But the process or the medicine is this chanting of the mantra. Even while we're doing seva, all the time we should try to chant. Gurudev said if you want to get out of tamagun, then you should chant mantra, Harinam. Gurudev said first start with chanting a few rounds a day, then try to increase to 16 rounds a day, then to 32 rounds a day, 64 rounds a day, 1 lakh, then to 2 lakhs, then to 3 lakhs. Gurudev said if you can chant 3 lakhs every day, within a few years, within a short time, certainly you'll completely be out of tamagun, you'll be in the fully blossomed consciousness. We want to go from budding to blossoming and then to fully blossomed. And if we want to get to fully blossomed consciousness, we need to chant 3 lakhs Harinam a day. Gurudev said like that. And then you have no time to waste in anything in this world. 3 lakhs a day is like 12 hours a day. 12 hours, 13, 14 hours. But we also cannot take that medicine if we're not ready yet. Okay, so we have to start according to our level. If we're now in budding consciousness, we cannot jump to fully blossomed. We have to go to blossoming. So we chant 16 rounds. But we gradually try to increase. And also, it's a complete process. It's not just one thing. That's why sadhu sangha, we have to fix our environment. That's called our avesh, our samavesh. Samavesh means our absorption in our environment. Vesh means our attire. If we're always wearing tamasic clothes or taking tamasic things, then we'll not be able to escape tamagun. And if we're surrounded by tamasic environment and association, we'll not be able to escape tamagun. So we dress properly. We take the proper kinds of foodstuffs. Ahar Shuddha Sattva Shuddha. If your food is right, your existence becomes pure. Okay? So that's Vesh, Samavesh, and then we can become fully absorbed in Harinam. And then we can follow all the process of Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga is a detailed process. So that's why we follow Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Pada, Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Rasim, Sakyam, Atmani, Vedadam. We follow all these procedures, all the limbs of Bhakti in Sadhu Sangha. Rupa Goswami said, you should stay in the Dham, if not by body, then by mind. You should worship the deity. You should hear the Bhagavat or Sastra. You should perform Kirtan, Bhagavat Shravan, Nam Kirtan, Mathurava, Shraddha, Srimurtir Sevan. We should do these 5 things. The most important though is Harinam Sankirtan. So if we want to get out of Tamagun, we start to follow this process. We had to go kind of quick because we don't have so much time, but we will stop here. Panchakalpatarupasya kripasinubhyavcha pitanam papneva Vaishnavibhyo namo namah.